Peace and love. It is your brozo back at it. Now, I wanted to talk today about some stuff that I, throughout the years, found to be very important, and that is culture and community. Okay, me growing up, I remember seeing different organizations like the Nation of Islam. They would come together, and have Savior's Day. They would do these grandiose things in which all these people to come together looking very sharp, all non-ether melanated beings, looking all sharp, impressive, and that was their culture, the Nation of Islam, and seeing them to come together to work together on, on something collectively, like just, numerous things like that. What's going to be a topic of the day of health, wealth, and knowledge of self. I remember in the late '90s, I remember going down to Tamaray in Georgia, and I remember just going on that land and seeing thousands of people on the land, and everywhere you looked, you just saw yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You saw yourself on pictures. You saw your language. You saw, everything in all all walks of life. Literally every race I remember seeing down there. But again, this was a tribe of people that were collectively working together, for a common goal of bettering, of dealing with health, wealth, knowledge, and self. You know what I'm saying? And, that's the topic of the day. And it's interesting because I see a lot of people out. I know COVID had a lot to do with the remote things and all that type of stuff, but I see a lot of individuals, that really, and I think a lot of these information for putting information out, but, a lot of people put information out and that's it, but we need to start doing more. We need to start coming together more collectively and doing things together. And my guest today, the good brother, Kevin Tyraine, he has an organization he started up called the Busara Trust, and where they specifically deal with health, wealth, knowledge of self. He talks about like the Dr. Sebi diet, getting the health right. He talks about, he's a Moorish brother, so he talks about Moorish history and more. But also he talks about Forex and money, health, wealth, knowledge of self. So this episode is very important because it is some of the main things I talk about in my book. You know what I'm saying? The money aspect, the health aspect, and also the knowledge of self aspect. I talk about it in both of my books. So sit back and watch this video, and please reach out to the good brother Kevin Tyraine because he's doing some great things down here in Atlanta with the youth. And we need to surround ourselves with. We need to surround brothers like this that are making things happen. You know what I'm saying? So we can help elevate. The community, and help us all get in line with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. All right. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and share. And see you on the flip side. Peace. Peace and love, everybody. It is your brozo back with you. Off my hiatus. Been gone for numerous reasons, but I'm back at it. You know what I'm saying? So now you're gonna see things a little differently. I'm gonna do more episodes with people specifically. People that I feel as though can help the community. That are have integrity. You know what I'm saying? And people that that are really here to help the people. And I'm going to be doing numerous consistent episodes with that. So if you haven't already, please go to yourbrozo.com and pick up a book by Cultural Living and Leaving a World of Illusions. My second book, Embracing the Sun Cycle as a Non-Ether Being, is that on there as well. You can go find that book anywhere. Okay. And now we have a very special guest, somebody you've probably seen in my previous episodes, a good brother of mine, known him for quite a long time. Definitely had some journeys. We've definitely seen some things together, throughout the years in this quote unquote conscious community. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I would like to say. And we in studio now. What I'm saying, even though it's screen set up, he's right across from me. What I'm saying, my man, brother Tyraine L. How you doing, brother?
All right, all right. Peace, man. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know how it is, man. I gotta shine a light on the good folks, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, me and Tyraine, man, we met back in the day with when Polite was doing this thing with New Covenant. You know what I'm saying? And we learned, as we both said, we learned a lot of stuff from that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, things went in a bad direction, but the knowledge is still, we still got it. We've been building and growing from the stuff that we've learned. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, introduce yourself real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Who you are, what you got going on, and we can go from there.
Right. So, peace to the family. My name is Tyraine L. I'm currently here in Atlanta from VA. I'm a numerologist. I've been studying numerology for years now, like 12, 13 years. I've been in it for a long time. I do trading. I'm in real estate. So I wear a couple of different hats, fezzes. As you can see, I'm a Moor. Been standing on my square for quite some time. So, I do a lot of work in the community. I have a nonprofit. I work with my brother Light Burley. We do the 52 block. If you're familiar, but we bringing that to the table. So, like I said, I got a lot of things going on, but I'm here with my brother, your brozo, to hang out for a bit and hopefully, come in every week and give some insight to the people. We just try to help the people, man, touch the people, meet the people where they at and give up some good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, man. And now these days specifically, we were just talking earlier off camera, just talking about the impracticalities of a lot of stuff in the quote unquote conscious community, and you know his title and what he's going to present today, I think, is something that's very practical and that we all need as non-ether beings and melanated people. You know what I'm saying? So, you want to just go ahead and talk about talk about the you want to talk about the Busara Trust first,
Yeah,
and then
I
we'll
can
go.
talk about the community. So, as the brother was telling y'all earlier, we were both part of New Covenant, and I was a part of the temple, and I've been, with different organizations, and a lot of these organizations that I was with, they weren't really meeting the needs of the people. And as everyone is probably aware of COVID in 2020, things got a little crazy and people couldn't really leave the house. And things online got kind of big, and people were looking to be a part of something that was online and virtual. So during that time, I created an online community, and I wanted to create something that really met the needs of the people. And how do I know, like, what are the needs of the people? I talk to people, right? I'm in sales, I'm in real estate, I've been doing a lot of things for a long time, and just talking to people, I noticed that a lot of people were having some of the same issues, right? And it was three major issues that I noticed, that people was either having one of these three issues. It was either dealing with health, it was either dealing with wealth, or knowledge of self, knowing who they are, which also translates into relationships. And so when I noticed that, I decided that I was going to create something almost like a support group, but basically an online community that focuses literally on those three things. So I created what is called the Busara Trust. And the word Busara means knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in Swahili. And that's where I got the term, because I used to study the teachings of the 5% nations of gods and earths. Shout out to my gods. And, you got knowledge, you got wisdom, you got understanding. But I'm of the opinion that knowledge equates to health, right? Wisdom equates to wealth, and understanding equates to knowledge of self. And so this is where I came up with this idea, this concept. And health, wealth, and knowledge of self is something that the older gods used to say. So it's not new. I didn't create it, but I wanted to make it practical. So I took a lot of the different things that I've learned over the years, things that I've learned in the conscious community, things I've learned in business, and I just created this online community, almost of a hybrid community. And I have all walks of life in our community. It's not just for conscious people. It's for people who want to elevate or either sustain themselves in one of those three areas. And so we made it very practical. So I'll start with health. Health is really just two things: is diet and exercise. I mean, you have mental health, you have other things, but primarily if you're eating right and you're exercising regularly, that will maintain your health. There may be a few other things that you need to do, certain herbs you can take, but the health diet basically and exercise are the keys. And so the diet that we were promoting and that we promote is basically more of a plant-based diet based on the works of Dr. Sebi. I'm a Sebi baby, and I grew up in the era where when I was coming up, Dr. Sebi was kind of the man, and so I followed a lot of his information, and a lot of it I found to be very useful. And I was able to cure myself of diabetes literally in 20 days by following a specific diet and taking certain herbs. So I know that this stuff works. And I'm also into martial arts. Me and my brother Yo Brozo, we studied together, so he's very familiar with my martial arts background. Um, over what I started, probably over about 18 years of martial arts. So the internal martial arts that we recommend is Qi Gong. And Qi Gong is an ancient martial arts from China, very similar to Tai Chi, but a little bit easier, just certain stances and poses and breathing techniques. So that's all it is to health, is basically the Qi Gong exercises. And I'm not qualified to teach Qigong, so I actually recommend my instructor. His name is Michael Issa, and on my website, Tyraine.com, I have a link to him, and you can go to his website, and that's where the members go of our community to take the classes. He has free videos, he has some paid stuff, but you can go there and get that information, and then I give everybody a list of foods based on the work of Dr. Sebi. So that's the health aspect. Then you got wealth. Wealth is only two things: credit and investing. And those are the two ways that we utilize to build wealth. OPM, other people's money. So that comes from credit. I told you guys I'm in real estate, and I learned how to fix credit because I had bad credit and I fixed my own. Learned a lot of tricks and tips. So basically, we help people fix their credit. I do have a business, so I can show people how to build business credit. And then, as far as investing, Forex. And many people have heard of Forex, the foreign exchange market. I've been trading Forex for 5 years. It took me about 3 to 4 years to stop losing money, but I'm now a profitable trader. I have a pretty good system that I use, and I send out signals every day to my members that I see a signal. And I'm gonna get into a little bit more about my signal group, how I send out signals. It's a little bit different than other trading groups. And so I show people how to trade, and we trade together as a group. So this is where you get the wealth from: the trading and the credit. And then the last is knowledge of self. And as I told you before, I'm into numbers. Numerology, I call it math because that's what it is. And so I show people how to calculate their cycles and how to use this to get more information and knowledge about who they are and what they may be going through at any given time.
All right, that's what's up, man. Yeah, it Oh, hold on a second. There we go. Yeah. So I want to talk. I want you to, if you can, kind of go. Let's want to just go through the slide because I want people to kind of to really see what you're dealing with, because, like I said, we need people to see. Best way to explain is like everybody. We're all learning new stuff all the time. You know what I mean? And the things that come into that are practical in life that we can use to make ourselves making money obviously makes your life more comfortable for your family. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, your health. Having a healthy body, you can't do nothing with money if you got if you don't got no good body. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but being a melanated being or non-ether being, you know what I'm saying? Moorish descent, however you want to say it. We need to know where we come from. You know what I mean? Because everybody and their mama is telling us where we come from. And, we need to listen to our own folks to tell us where we come from to have a solid foundation, because, the information's out there. It's just a matter of doing a study and not listen to, all these, people that are trying to tell you you're this and you're that, and you know what I'm saying. They have no idea who you are. You predate them by millions of years, and you talking about they trying to tell you where you come from, all this stuff. So no, listen to your folks that know true knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying, of you being melanated beings or 90th beings, or whatever you call it. So we start with the beginning of the trust.
Like I said, the Busara Trust, health, wealth, and knowledge of self. So we're going to start with health. And first of all, health is wealth, right? Without health, nothing else matters. If I gave you $1 million and said you got 24 hours to live, or you could give me that $1 million back and live another 20 days, another 20 years, you would give me that money back immediately. You would jump on that opportunity. So, keys is diet and exercise, right? You are what you eat. In order to maintain a proper health, first and foremost, one must maintain a healthy diet. However, in today's Western society, knowing what foods to eat may be difficult. Lucky for us, a man known by Dr. Sebi gave us a list of foods that will be healthy based on the body's pH level. Today, many so-called black people face diseases that are directly linked to Western diet. What is the Western diet? The Western diet is also known as the standard American diet. Sad. It is just plain old sad. Right. All right. It's a modern dietary pattern that is generally characterized by high intake of red and processed meats, butter, fried foods, high fat dairy products, eggs, refined grains, potatoes, and high sugary drinks. By contrast, a healthy diet has higher proportions of fruits, nuts, vegetables, whole grains, foods, poultry, and fish. So, while Sabi was a vegetarian or a vegan, he did even admit that he ate fish from time to time. And, I think you can have anything in moderation. Yeah. But you want to do cleanses regularly. And, you definitely want to make sure that you are really paying attention to what you eat. Unfortunately, a lot of the foods that we are given, especially here in America, are poisonous. They use a lot of hormones with the animals, and those things get into our body. And this is causing a lot of the diseases. And unfortunately, African American people lead in high blood pressure, diabetes. We lead in hypertension. We lead in heart disease. Everything that's negative, we lead in it, and 90% of that is diet related. So the next slide that we're going to go to is we're going to talk a little bit about Qi Gong. What is Qi Gong? To put simply, Qi Gong is breath work. What people may not know, and this is a real interesting fact, is Harvard Medical did a study, and they showed that people who practice Tai Chi live an average of 5 years longer. Isn't that interesting? A lot of people don't know that, and what's dope about that is Qi Gong and Tai Chi are like brother and sister. So it's very, very similar, but it's a lot easier. It's just simple movements, poses, stances with breathing techniques, but you get a lot of the same benefits. And if we had some of these things embedded in our culture, it would be so. Just imagine if your religion required you to do Tai Chi like Taoism, right? You would add 5 years in your life just by practicing your quote unquote religion or your culture. Now, if you had a vegan diet on top of that and you didn't eat the Western diet, you probably would add another 5 to 10 years on your life.
So I think about like the Shaolin school.
Yes.
Right. So and it's interesting because now you look at it and you look at like, man, these people dedicate their lives to exercise and eating right, breathing,
Yes.
and it's like that's all like you said a part of their culture. And they be letting those Asian people they live in a long time.
Right, they sure do.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's interesting because we were talking about this earlier. It's like us as melanated folks, like we don't have not all of us, a small percent of us embrace a true culture that's for themselves.
Yes.
And that is such an important thing just to have a foundation. Even if this is the foundation which you're presenting of just it might not be culture and as far as it's a healthy culture.
Right.
You might not be healthy culture as far as like talking about where you're coming from,
Right.
but you knowledge yourself, you get to that too, right?
We get to that
Yeah.
too.
So it's interesting just because we see it everywhere else, but we don't have it for ourselves.
Exactly.
So I appreciate you bring a few people that have really combined it all together. But you know what I'm saying, this is necessary for us to have.
Right.
It's a good foundation. You know what I mean? It's practical. It's not
Very.
too complicated. You know what I'm
No.
saying? It just
We keep it simple.
Yeah.
And I studied different religions. I took religious studies in college. I actually studied a bunch of different religions as well outside of college. But religion preserves your culture.
Yeah.
You do like when you say these people practice kung fu all day and eating healthy, that is their religion. It's a way of life. Like I brush my teeth every morning religiously. It means you do it consistently. Religion is not a belief, it's a doing. And so when you have certain practices that you place inside your culture, that becomes your religion because it's a way that you practice living to the best of your ability. And unfortunately, Black culture has a lot of negative things that we've embraced. And so this is a way to try to bring back some balance, right? So Qi Gong is literally life energy cultivation. It's a holistic system of coordinated body postures and movements, breathing and meditation used for health, spirituality, and martial arts training. With roots in Chinese medicine, philosophy, and martial arts, Qigong is traditionally viewed as a practice to cultivate and balance Qi, translated as life energy. And so everything starts with the breath and learning to breathe properly and learning how to cultivate chi through breath work is super important. And the health benefits, again, this is Harvard Medical. They did the study and they're showing like these people are living longer. And if you go to China, who actually has some of the longest lifespans of people on the planet, they're in the park practicing Tai Chi every day. The older people are, and you can see that directly over there. So now we're going to go to the next slide and we're going to talk about wealth, right? And what is wealth? What is money? Is energy, right? Money is simply a means of exchange. Money is energy. What if I told you that money doesn't exist and we live in a cashless society? Well, truth be told, we do. Only 4% of money is in paper form. The rest is numbers in a computer and or credit. And now, guys, we're in the cryptocurrency world. And just to add on that we recently have a new member that is a part of our community that is really, really well versed in the world of crypto. And he actually has been sharing a lot of great information with our community so that we can start to get engaged in the crypto market because that is the wave of the future. Okay. Would you rather spend your time and energy tapping into the 4% of printed money available or tap into the 96% of electronic currency? I'm sure many people have heard of cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, which further proves my point. Once you have a firm understanding of how to make money work for you, we can then show you how to leverage your credit and assets to attain money for investing. So OPM, other people's money, right? America, you can say what you want, but other countries, you can't get money as easily as you can in America. If you are 18 years old and you literally have no debt and you're 18, you start off with a clean slate. If you know what you're doing, literally in 90 days, you can have a 700 credit score, right? With the 700 credit score, you can go get a $5,000 to $10,000 loan from the bank. With $5,000 in the Forex or crypto market, you can triple that, quadruple that in a matter of days, weeks. You could lose it all as well, but if you understand proper risk management and how to trade, you will only risk enough. And then you can make enough to pay them their little monthly payments and still keep money off the top. And that's what we're all about. We show people step by step how to do this, and it's really not that hard. A friend of mine actually made it to the 800 club. He had an 800 credit score. He was given an unlimited credit card. He went to Africa and lived for 4 months, got him a wife, and came back. He lived off a credit card for 4 months. Unlimited balance. This is the power of credit. And unfortunately, most of us are not taught this. And by the time we find out, we're already in debt. We already have bad credit. I didn't find out about credit and how it really works until my 30s. My 30s, guys, that's sad. If I had known that at 18, by the time I was 21, I could have had access to easily 100,000. And keep this in mind, it's easier to get access to borrow 100,000 through credit than save $100,000. And that's a fact. So I want to get into a little bit about Forex and what is Forex. So Forex stands for foreign exchange. It's basically currencies. So if you were to go to Europe and you went over there, you would have to exchange your money for something called euros. That's the currency over there. And the euro is actually a little more than $1. So you might give them, for example, $10 in American money, and they might give you $8 in euro. And if you were to stay there for a week, and let's say you didn't spend no money, and then before you left, you gave them the $8 back in euro, they might give you $11 because over the week that you were there, the money was fluctuating. So what you don't know is that this money fluctuates every single day. However, it fluctuates in small amounts that you can't see. So we stop at a penny, right? You might have $10.01, but there are numbers and digits below a penny. That constantly moves every day, 24 hours a day, 5.5 days a week. This is when the market is open. And you can capitalize off of this going up and down. And it's recession proof because you can make money when the market goes up and you can make money when the market goes down. It's the largest market on the planet, $6.8 trillion a day. It's bigger than the stock market. You're dealing with all the currencies on the planet. And by studying Forex, you will actually become a lot more well versed in politics and how the world works because you're paying attention to money. Recently, Trump put some tariffs on the Canadian dollar. And I was trading the Canadian dollar and it jumped 200 points in one day. I mean, literally in a second. So, when you start to see these changes, you can then understand kind of what's going on and learn to capitalize off of it. Hold on one second. So when you actually trade, there's something called candlesticks, and this is what we look at to determine whether the market is going up or down. This is one of our indicators that we look at is candlesticks. You have the bulls versus the bears, right? So in the market, in the Forex market, and this also applies to the stock market as well, when it goes up, it's considered being bullish. And the reason it's bullish is because when a bear attacks, he charges at you and he goes up with his horns. So that's why it's considered bullish. And when things go down, it's considered bearish. And the reason that is because when a bear attacks you, stands on his hind legs and it swipes down. So that's called bearish. And if you ever go to Chicago, they have the trading district in the city, you'll see a bear and a bull. And as most people are aware, Chicago has a team called the Chicago Bulls, and they have a football team called the Chicago Bears. And this is where this comes from. It comes from the markets because Chicago is one of the trading capitals in the world. So Japanese candlesticks, right? They show you the high, the low, the open, and the close of prices of a security for a specific period of time. Candlesticks originated from Japanese rice merchants and traders to track market prices and daily momentum hundreds of years before becoming popularized in the United States. So this has been used a long time. And you have the body of the candle and you have what is called wicks. And are you showing that on the screen? Now you can see.
Just tell me when time. Just tell me moving forward.
Okay, so you can see on the screen the green candlestick would be bullish, meaning it's going up. So the open is at the bottom, the close is at the top, the high is at the very top, which is the wick, and the low is at the very bottom. And then if you notice the bullish, the open is at the top and the close is at the bottom. The high is still at the very top of the wick and the low is still at the very bottom of the wick. We can go to the next. So what is support and resistance? Supply and demand. Support and resistance are just zones that the market goes into. It goes from one zone to the next. And support is, it supports the price, meaning the price sits on top of that zone, or as you can see, a line. Resistance means once it gets to this place, it hits its head, almost like bumping your head on a ceiling. It's a resistance zone, and it will fluctuate from zone to zone. And what we do is we wait for it to break either the support or the resistance, and then once it breaks, we'll catch it on its way up to the next zone. And this is basically what trading is about. Go, you can go to the next slide. So, what are indicators? One of the things that we use to trade, and a lot of excuse me, a lot of people use these to trade. They're called indicators. And indicators are just algorithms that you can put on your computer that give you an indication on which direction the market is going to move in, right? Indicators are statistics used to measure current conditions as well as forecast financial or economic trends. Economic indicators are statistical metrics used to measure the growth or contraction of the economy as a whole or sectors within the economy. In the context of technical analysis, an indicator is a mathematical calculation based on a security's price or volume with the results used to predict future prices. A key performance indicator refers to quantifiable measurements used to measure a company's success against a specific target or object. Commonly used indicators of a company's profitability include gross margin, operating margin, net margin, and return on equity. And go to the next slide. What is the key to becoming a profitable trader? What is the key to becoming a profitable trader? So, guys, like I said, it took me 4 years to really become profitable. It took me, now I know somebody that learned it in 6 months, but they spent like 8 hours a day. It takes time, it takes screen time, but there's two things that primarily will create a profitable trader. And these are two things that I struggled with and I constantly still have to fight. And that's consistency and discipline. Okay. Now, someone who studied martial arts, those are two things that you will gain from martial arts. Is you have to be consistent and you have to be disciplined. Those are vital. You cannot learn martial arts in one day, right? You have to be consistent. You have to go and be consistent, and you have to be disciplined. And the same applies for trading. You must have a system and you must follow it. When is the best time to trade? It depends on you and your schedule. And it's two things that moves the market, and that's fear and greed. So overcoming fear and greed and becoming consistent and disciplined will make you a profitable trader. It will also help in other aspects of your life. Next slide. So there's three things also that you will need to become a successful trader. And that's risk management, understanding how money works and how much you should be risking. Time, and understanding that the trend is your friend, meaning you should be going in the direction of the market. The market's either going to go up or down, guys. You have a 50-50 chance of winning just by jumping in. It's either going to go up or down. Now, it will go sideways at times, but if it's going sideways, you're not really making or losing money. It's just kind of fluctuating. You might be down $5, up $5, down $5, up $5. Or if you got a lot of money in your account, you might be down 10,000, up 10,000, down 10,000. But at the bottom, at the end of the day, you are waiting for it to start trending, meaning it to start going in one direction. And again, 50-50 chance, it's either going up or down. So once you get a system that you can follow that will consistently give you pretty good results, there's no stopping you. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. And now we're going to get into the last piece of what we teach at the Busara Trust, and that is the knowledge of self. And again, that's math. Some call it numerology. I call it math. Who am I? What is my purpose, right? So the way numerology works, there's a couple of different systems. We use a system that comes from ancient Egypt, and it was preserved by Pythagoras. Pythagoras actually studied in Egypt and brought this back to Greece. And so some call it Pythagorean numerology. I call it Egyptian numerology because that's what it is. It's from ancient Egypt. And the way it works, we look at your name, we look at your birthday, but I like to really focus more on the birthday because the birthday doesn't change. Your name can change, which can change your vibrational frequency. And that's a topic for another time. But when we look at your birthday, the most important number in your makeup is what is known as your life lesson number. And anybody can add this up. If you're watching this video, it's super easy. I'll tell you how to do it right now. You just add the month you were born, plus the day you were born, plus the year you were born. And when you add the year, make sure you break the year down. So if you're born in 1976, you want to add 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 6 until you get to a 2-digit number. And then you just add that 2-digit number to whatever day you were born, and then you add the month you were born. And that will give you your life lesson number, meaning why are you here? What is your purpose? Super important. But another aspect that we look at is called your cycles. And the way numerology works, you go through a cycle every 9 years, every 9 months, and every 9 days, and you can calculate it mathematically. And this is actually how time works. Time is cyclical, not linear. So time moves in cycles. You can go to the next slide. So what is numerology? Again, numerology is math. Math is both quantitative and qualitative, right? What are numbers?
Which one you on? Let me see.
It says, what is numerology? Math.
Let me see. Because
I should have had this before this slide, really. But
I'm on the one that says, what are numbers? Numbers is language. I don't see that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It is?
Numbers are language. It is the language.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. It just looked different. Go ahead.
So what are numbers? Numbers are a form of communication. Numbers are a language. Mm-hmm. It's the language in which our Creator speaks to us directly. Even in the Bible, it says that God speaks to us through signs and symbols. Mm-hmm. Numbers are actually symbols, right? Our world is ruled by numbers. Try going a day without using numbers. Mm-hmm. Numbers, just like everything else, has an element of dualism, meaning it's two sides. Numbers are both quantitative and qualitative, right? Quantity, I have 1 cell phone, I have 2 cell phones. Mm-hmm. Qualitative, quality or characteristics. I got to do a number 1, I got to do a number 2, mm-hmm. or the dreaded number 3. Mm-hmm. In that context, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. The science of numbers recognizes that numbers are vibrations, and each vibration is different from the next due to the number of cycles it oscillates per second. And every sound, color, fragrance, and thought is also a vibration, each dancing to the tune of its inherent number, which is connected to life in its own distinct way. If you would like to see how numbers can work for you and give you greater insight into your life, just make sure you reach out to me so that I can explain how this works. And if you go to my website, Tyraine.com, right at the top, you can put in your birthday and send me an email, and I'll send you your life lesson for free. Because I think everybody should know, at the very least, what is their purpose for being here. Super important. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Like I was saying, time moves in cycles. Time is cyclical. And so each number has a meaning. And I want to go through the numbers 1 through 9 and kind of give a breakdown of what each number means. So I like to use the story of Adam and Eve when I break down numbers because most people are familiar with the story, mm-hmm. right? In the Bible, in Genesis, the Adam was first, so 1 represents man. After man came woman, or Eve, so 2 represents woman. After man and woman, then comes a child, so 3 is child. And that actually represents the Holy Trinity from ancient Egypt. After they have a child, then they build a home, so 4 represents builder. After they build a home, they go explore their area, so 5 represents freedom. After that, they get their family in order, so 6 represents family. After that, they get in tune with God, so 7 represents God. After that, then they get the money and the power. So 8 represents power. And then after that, they give it all away. So 9 is compassion, which is the highest number. And 9 is the highest vibrational number. It actually is divisible by itself. So if you multiply 9 by any number and add it up, it always comes back to 9. So 9 times 2 is 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27, 2 plus 7 is 9. You can get a calculator and type 9 times and make up a number, and I guarantee if you add that number up, it's going to come back to 9. Shout out to 9 Ether Beings. That's what we do. So some of the keywords for these numbers, man, keywords would be original, independent, aggressive, individualistic, creative. It's the next page. Yep. So man, which also represents knowledge. Some of the keywords are original, independent, aggressive, individualistic, creative, dominant, the first in the series. And I'm giving you some of these definitions so that when you calculate your life lesson number, you can then look at these definitions and know a little bit about who you are. Number 2, woman, which also can be known as wisdom. Keywords are adaptable, tactful, understanding, gentle, cautious, a follower rather than a leader. 3 is child, which also represents understanding. Keywords are expansive, sociable, dramatic, communicative, diversified, and creative. 4 is build. Keywords are form, work, order, practicality, construction, and stability. 5 is freedom. Keywords are versatility, resourcefulness, adaptability, change, activity, travel, freedom, adventure. Number 6 is family. Keywords are family and social responsibilities, service, love, compassion, and counseling. 7 is God. Keywords are quiet, introspective, intuitive, analytical, inspirational. 8 is power. Keywords are power, responsibility, financial rewards, good judgment, and also karma, because 8 turned sideways is the infinity, so it also represents karma. And last but not least is 9, which is compassion. Keywords are love, compassion, patience, universality, tolerance, self-service, and endings. And so these are the basic meanings, or some of the basic meanings of these different numbers. And it gets a little deeper than that because we actually use double digits in advanced numerology, and we go all the way up to 78. But each number still can be broken down to its base number. So for instance, 15 breaks down to 6 because 1 plus 5 is 6. So you're still going to have that 6, but there's a different energy between a 15-6 and a 33-6. 33, 3 plus 3 is 6. 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. They're both 6, but they're different vibrational frequencies of 6. It's like playing a piano. I played the piano for 7 years, and you have A, but you also have A flat, right? So A minor, you have different levels or frequencies of A. You have different frequencies of B, and so on. So that's pretty much it on the Busara Trust. That's a brief rundown of what we teach. And like I said, we meet every Sunday on Zoom from 7 to 9 or 8 to 10, depending on what the members want. And I even sometimes will do classes during the week if some people need some extra guidance or they're looking for some more information, especially with the trading. Now, I do send out signals, and I did want to put this out there because there's a lot of signal groups online, and I've actually been a part of quite a few of them. And for the most part, they do not work. And the reason they don't work is because these people will send out signals all hours of the day. So they might send out a trade signal at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 5 in the evening. So you never know when it's coming out. My trading system, we trade the daily chart. So for all my traders, they understand that the daily chart starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and lasts until the next day, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 24 hours. And the way I trade is I send out my signal before the close of the daily. So that means I send out my trade before 5 p.m. I don't check it till 4:30, and I have to get the trade out before 5. So what does that mean? That means that I'm sending out my trade anywhere between 4:40 and about 4:50. That's the time frame. So you don't have to sit around looking at your phone all day wondering when I'm gonna send a trade out. All you got to do is check your phone at 4:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I see something for that day, again, guys, I don't catch a trade every day, right? It's not realistic. Some days you don't have a trade. I trade 27 pair. So it make, because I trade so many pair, I'm usually able to find something, once or twice a week. But sometimes I might go a week or two with no trade setups. And then the next week I might give you 3. But at the end of the day, you only have to check it once a day at 4:55 p.m. You have to get in the trade before 5 p.m. because at 5 p.m. the spread jumps, and what that means is that because the market just opened, the broker is going to charge a lot more to get in the trade. So you have to get in the trade before 5 p.m. If you miss my trade, if you're busy at work and you check your phone at 5:01 and you see that I sent it out, you can wait and possibly re-enter at 7 p.m. because again, this is going to run for 24 hours. You might be able to get in at 9, 10, 11. You got 24 hours to look for a second time to get in or a second entry. And I show you how to go in the lower time frames, draw up your support and resistance. We even got members who already know how to trade, who will take my daily trade, and then they'll go in on a 15-minute and a 5-minute, and they'll make a killing off of that one trade and make multiple positions. So it's really a unique way, a unique system. Shout out to VP No Nonsense Forex. That I took a lot of his information to develop my system. Shout out to who else did I? Urban Forex, Naveen Prithiani. I got a lot of information. I took his course, got a lot of information from him, and ICT as well. Inner Circle Trader, a lot of good information. Those are 3. Those are some big heavy hitters. If you're in the trading world, you know who those guys are. All on YouTube, big guys, big heavy hitters. I've taken courses from all 3 of them, paid courses, and so I've developed a system based off of those three individuals and their trading systems, and took bits and pieces and created something unique for me. And I show individuals how to create their own algorithm, but for the most part, I show you how to go in on the lower time frames so you can really take advantage of my trade signals. And so, the community is growing. It's a great opportunity for people who are looking to be a part of something bigger than themselves and who want to learn something that is practical and is going to help them. If you got somebody young, like under 18, 17, 18, and they want to join, they're more than welcome. I think this is great for high school students. If you're older and you don't want to take this, get your son involved, get your daughter involved, because and I'll be honest, my community has mostly women in it, and the women do very well because they follow directions. They read, they get the book, they learn it, they learn the numerology system, they learn how to trade, they take the signals, they open live accounts. It's my guys that slacks a little bit. So if you got a young daughter, definitely high school age, I would definitely recommend this because if a woman learns how to deal with this numerology science, I promise you it's going to help her in relationships, dealing with men. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And if she's dealing with a dude and starting to date and different things like that, it'll tell you the people you're dealing with are not honest. It'll expose people. So this is a great science to learn. It's great to teach your children. My daughter is 15 and she knows this science already. I've been teaching her since she was like 10, and I've done readings for her friends, and it's been amazing how receptive they've been to this information. So, we love to have you, but if not, just tap in, go to Tyraine.com, get a free reading. At least find out your purpose for being here if you don't already know it. You don't need numerology to find that out. There's multiple ways. You can pray. Most parents, especially the moms, they're in tune and they know their child, and they know a lot of times what their child is here for, and they can see it, before the child obviously can see it. And so, but this will just give you a lot more insight and a certain level of confirmation.
And that's why, as you like I said earlier, see brothers like this, and a lot of my guests that you've seen previously, and then my future guests that I'm going to start bringing back. This information is so needed for us in our community in so many ways, because now there's no excuse for you not to be able to do anything else. All these rich people, all these you can build generational wealth now. It's not a secret anymore. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's we have all the resources, and we have brothers like this that are teaching the community. We need to support this brother, you know what I'm saying, and support the Busara Trust, because we need to come together collectively and help each other grow, you know what I'm saying, and build and get healthy, and get wealthy, and learn about each other, man. So this is another reason why we're going to continue doing these series, because as you can imagine, there's so many different topics that we'll be able to cover, and you'll be able to learn from. Me too. I'm sitting there listening to him like, oh man, I got to get my numerology back on, you know what I'm saying? So brother Tyraine, it was a pleasure having you. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for the next one. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate the slide presentation. Appreciate y'all of the breakdown, because I definitely learned something new. And reach out to the brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put all his information. Excuse me. Put his information on his contact information in the description, and also his website and all the good information. So besides that, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't already, like I said, go to yovisbrozo.com. Pick up the new book. It's not going to be officially out till March, but you can get it now. Both the books, you know what I'm saying? That's it for us, you know what I'm saying? Really, that's it. Peace and love, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace. Peace.